going to take advantage of these.
Yes. Nobody used the chairs today. We're going to use the chairs. We're going to get cozy. Hi.
Hi there.
I'm Maryann, and this is Doug, in case there's any confusion. We are local sculptors, and we did a project in 2008 of 6 large-scale public works on the north side of Phoenixville, on the campus known as Franklin Commons.
For those of you unaware of Franklin Commons, it's at 400 Franklin Street, which is just up the hill. That's the extension of Gay Street. Big building on the left. Can't miss it.
We got involved in this project basically in a small town sort of way. A friend of a friend of a friend was asking around if there was a local sculptor who would be interested in a project. Luckily, this was a friend of mine, Deb O'Brien, who owns Best Friends Boutique on Main Street here in town. Through this network, I met with Maryann Moskowitz, and I went there thinking it was going to be a very small job, maybe a lobby piece or something to hang on the wall. Instead, she walked me through this vast building, telling me how she wanted to turn all of the industrial salvage into sculpture. And I was so excited by this that I was like, yes, definitely, I can do this. I'm going to go home and draw up plans right now. Only to get in my car, I realized that I wasn't quite sure how I could accomplish that. And I probably let out, gripping my steering wheel, a very loud expletive right there, like, ah! But having met Doug, I had met him once or twice, and I knew that he had great experience. I picked up my phone, even before I left the parking lot of Franklin Commons, and said, hey, Doug, we don't know each other very well, but would you want to tackle this project with me? And I'm very grateful that he said,
Who is this anyway? How did you get this number? But afterwards I said, sure, of course. I mean, it's not very often that artists, abstract artists in particular, get a chance to do something on someone else's dime, and so we really appreciated that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a maker, not much of a speaker, so you have to put up with me here. We realized from the beginning that the material we had available was really going to dictate any of the forms, the sculptural forms that we developed. So our first challenge was to tie all of the work together thematically and then to bring it to this new place. So our central theme became industry through people equals energy. We wanted to show the connections between the people of Phoenixville, their industrial past, and their new beginnings.
And the first piece we did in this was called Production. It stands 9 feet tall, it's 9 feet wide, and it's made of steel, miscellaneous non-ferrous metals, and found objects. And we knew that we wanted this piece to reflect the industrial process, but we also wanted it to be fun and engaging and to look like at any moment it could operate.
Yeah, we started with sketches, but the reality of working with the kind of material that we had, this heavy, irregular steel, really very quickly focuses your attention on what's possible and what's not. And so in the end, all of the designs that we came up with were that mixture of improvisation and the practical with a real keyed focus on safety and just sound building methods.
Yeah, this was definitely a piece that we were holding up pieces going, how does this look? How does this look? Weld it, do it, good, cut it. It was great. The next piece is called Celebration, and we knew that we wanted to bring the figure form into what would be a very public space. These figures stand between 7 feet tall and 12 feet tall. And the inspiration for this piece came from Doug. He was inspired by the steel smokestacks coming off of the foundry building located behind the Colonial.
We didn't use those pipes.
Yeah. And he knew that the curve of the pipe would help to really articulate the figure. And so what we did is cut a massive pipe from the ceiling, watched it bounce 20 feet to the ground with a loud bang, sketched out the forms onto the pipe, cut them with a torch, and reassembled to create 3 dancing figures. And the use of primary colors, we then use primary colors to help create a playful gesture, leading viewers through what will be a garden.
So these 3 dancing figures really represent all of the people, past, present, and future, who've moved through this space, this new space. And again, the idea here was to engage. So they're oversized, simple human figures, bright colors, easy, really, and hopefully effective.
Energy is the 3rd piece. It's 3 semicircle forms. They are about 14 feet tall. They stand together like flickering flames.
Yeah,
The flickering flames of Phoenixville. They are made of 1-inch increments of steel pipe, various steel pipes that we cut, welded together with other miscellaneous pieces that we found after exploring, get this, a 3-story boiler room. It was amazing. And it was once used as the main heating plant for the building, and we just got to go in there and scrap it.
That's right. Actually, we got paid to vandalize, which was awesome. A lot of the other pieces came from the contractors on the site who, after getting to know us and seeing how we worked and knowing that it wasn't really that much different and that we weren't aliens, even though we were Democrats, would bring us things that they thought were interesting. They would pieces of their trade, and they would say, hey, can you use this? And we really appreciated that level of contact and input from those guys. The energy pieces were the first that we presented to David and Maryann, and they were by far the most time-consuming. I don't know how long
they took about 2 months to create.
2 months,
yeah.
Right.
So welding each piece 3 times.
Right. It probably would have taken us a little less time, but Maryann had the unfortunate habit of setting herself on fire, so we would have to stop and put her out, and then we could move forward. But there was a lot of extra time spent on their design and construction. Safety was a huge issue with these pieces. They're kind of awkward to work with.
Oh, let me go back. Oh, there we go.
So we originally they were just the forms in a circle, and we found that by adding this bench element, I don't want to get too wonky, but we were able to triangulate the piece, and so we were able to really further stabilize the structure. We were involved from the beginning with the planning of the campus walk. We met with David and Maryann, of course, the landscape architects, and all of the contractors on site to really ensure the setup and installation of all of the artwork.
Yeah, campus walk was completed in about 5 months. After which, David and Maryann had requested that we create several more pieces to go in and throughout the building. And the first piece we created after campus walk was Emergence. And the model is there on the left, and it came pretty close. Emergence is located on the north side entrance of Franklin Commons. It stands about 7 feet tall upon a sitting area. And this piece is lit from within, which announces your arrival.
Emergence is a beacon-like form, a vessel. It was a piece that really embodied the essence of this new facility. We made it out of used Culligan water filter tanks, and it was transformed into something completely new that quite literally lit a new way forward.
Take it in. Everybody's taking it. The next piece is Common Binds. Common Bind stands about 5.5 feet tall. It's 5 feet wide. This piece is the remaining scraps of the Culligan water tank, as well as electrical spools from the electricians. At this point, we were really running out of materials to use. We had already been there 7 months at this point, and so we were sort of scrambling to create more work. And this piece really is a reflection of the family unit.
Right. All of those figures, there are 3 figures in the piece, and each one of them is connected to a central form or idea. You know, a group of people united in common purpose. And this is really how we felt about being part of this project. We were just one small part, but we were moving it ahead. The last piece we created was connections. Here we wanted to do something really different, at least material-wise. First, we were kind of tired of working with steel. It's heavy and sharp and dirty. And
dirty and dirty and dirty.
Very dirty. And so this is a wall hanging of, 4x8 wall hanging of plaster cast hands and red thread. And in the center of the piece are Maryann and David, and they're holding hands, and from there, all of the threads radiate out to include some of the key people involved. Everyone was given a little something to hold when we had a bucket of goo, we called it. It was AlgaSafe, which is a modeling formula, and we asked people to stick their hands in that form somehow to give us a sense of their hand in particular. And when they pulled it out and we were pouring the plaster in, it gave us a place to run the thread through, which was very convenient.
Yeah, it was really fun to get these big construction worker guys out there and just say, stand there, like, let's say, like these, you know, this is some examples. Stand there with your hand in a bucket for 10 minutes, and, but, you know, we had people, all of them, come to us and say, we want to do it, we want to be a part of it, and so that was really, really exciting. I mean, the community aspect of working at Franklin Commons was genuine. As our partnership grew, because remember, we didn't really know each other when we started this, so did our relationship with all of the people in the building. Without their help, we never could have installed and completed all of this work, and so we were really very grateful for that. In turn, they would tell us how working with us helped them to gain a better understanding of art. One of the gentlemen that we worked with his hand in the goo, was telling us that his daughter was going to school for art, and he was struggling to connect with her because he didn't really understand it. He said that she brought him an abstract piece, and he said, I didn't know what to say. All I could see was a hamster and a sombrero. And to which I said, that's okay. It's okay to see a hamster and a sombrero. But he said after talking with us and working with us, he really started to explore how things are made and the meaning behind the work. And this was really very special to us. I mean, it was great. And as artists, we are inherently solitary creatures in our studios. We're working, we're struggling, we're questioning.
Starving.
We're starving. But this experience I don't even know how to put it into words. It was challenging, awesome. And it was, yeah, in the best sense of the word, a challenge, and we loved it. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, mostly tears on Doug's part. No, maybe it was on my part. But from this, we developed a really great friendship and partnership that we have continued to create work for the last 5 years. And we continue to motivate each other every day, and we truly love that we can call ourselves artists. Yeah.
No.
We're not, wait.
We have a little art wrap for you. So Maestro Beats. No. Maryann and I believe strongly that public art requires a broader vision. It's a vision that brings all of the arts to a larger community and allows them to embrace it. It's through that exposure to art that people have less of a stigma of exclusivity, they have a better experience with it, and it brings a level of culture to that community that's, sorely missing from everyday life. So, if you believe, like we believe, that art is one of the hallmarks of an advanced society, then I think we really owe it to ourselves to keep it in our public places. Thank you very much.
Thank you.